Can trust with your dog ever be broken? As much as dogs mostly have unwavering love, there are limits. Just wait until you hear what confusing commands can do to your dog's willingness to trust you. But we have a few other topics to touch upon first. Mistake number 10. Your dog is asleep. They look adorable. They're lying there all curled, kicking and twitching their legs as they dream of chasing things. Imagine dreaming of exercise. Dogs sure are different to us, huh? They look so cute, it's hard to resist the urge to get involved and pet them or touch them. And then, boom! They wake up, yanked from their glorious dreamland into the waking world. From your POV, it might feel cute. It might feel like you're letting them know that you love them, and you are there with them. But think about yourself and imagine you are them for a moment. Would you like to suddenly be woken up with no warning? No, of course you wouldn't. It's awful. It's a nuance. So why should your dog tolerate it? And this goes beyond just cuddling them into a state of waking. It's also the case with loud noises. But if you're thinking to yourself, I don't mind if I wake my dog, it's not that big of a deal. I have bad news for you. Your dog has a sense of trust in you. But snoozing means the world to them, and every single time you yank them awake, it chips away at the sense of trust, little by little. And if that trust keeps getting chipped away at, eventually there will be no trust left. Repeated disturbances can even lead to them becoming cautious and wary around you, especially when sleeping. Dogs adore predictability. They need it for security, and a sudden jolt out of a lovely deep sleep is not a part of their routine, so they don't like it. It can be disorienting, maybe even frightening. So what do? Experts recommend letting your dog wake up whenever they choose. Wish an expert would tell everyone in my life that they need to let me wake up whenever I want. If for whatever reason you have no choice but to wake up your precious pooch, the best approach is to call out with a soft and gentle voice, rather than engaging with sudden physical contact. Mistake number 9. Imagine this. You walk home from a long, hard day at work and your dog comes racing to the door and screams, "Holy guacamole, you're home!" Then they say, "Want to have some fun? I'm in the mood to have fun. Can we do the game with the sticks we do sometimes?" I love that game with the sticks we sometimes do. Then they say, "Please hug me." Then they say, "Please don't." Then they say, "Please feed me." Then they scream, "Good golly goodness, I love you so gosh darn much." Wouldn't that be remarkable if they constantly communicated with you like that? Newsflash, they do, but they just don't use words. But they are constantly communicating with you via their bodies. No, I don't mean interpretive dance. When a dog lowers their ears, licks their lips, turns their head away, these aren't random movements, these are all ways in which they talk to you. And if you want to keep their trust, you need to respond to those hints. Because ignoring those signals can make them feel unheard, and nobody likes to be unheard. So you're petting your dog, and they lean away. They're trying to signal to you that they don't feel comfortable, and while they don't necessarily feel the need to run away, they would quite like the petting to stop. If you continue petting, they may begin to feel like their boundaries aren't respected. If this situation were to happen time and time again, the trust between you would crumble a little, and that might make them less eager to interact with you. Mistake number 8. Right, so I said sudden sounds are an issue, but in general, sudden movements of any kind are a problem. Rushing around them abruptly or grabbing them without warning can spook them. Remember, dogs love routine. They're diligent little soldiers who do what they're supposed to do when they're supposed to do it. And any unexpected gesture might sound the alarms, and that will erode the sense of security you want them to have around you. While this can be true of all dogs, it is especially true if your dog is more on the timid side, and even more so if they've sadly had negative experiences at some point. If this sounds true of your dog, it's best to approach them as calmly as you can. There's never any need to rush. If you need to pick them up, go about it slowly. Let them know what's happening. Give them time to process it, so they don't feel caught off guard. As odd as this may sound, move like a ballet dancer and not a break dancer. Mistake number 7. Let your dog up on the couch. They'll think thank you. Don't let them on the couch. They'll think not a problem. Frantically snap from letting them one moment to not letting them the next. They'll think, whoa, what's happening? I've said it a few times throughout this video, but dogs love routine and rules. But if those rules keep changing, it's confusing and disorienting. You'd hate that, right? If you did something that was perfectly legal only to get arrested for it because it was made illegal halfway through you doing it, that would not be fair, so it's not fair for them either. Inconsistency makes it hard for dogs to understand what's expected of them. That leads to anxiety and confusion. And how can they possibly maintain trust with you when they're too confused? The best way to keep that dynamic nice and strong is to ensure all household rules are both clear and consistent. Similar to this, it's vital to not have confusing commands when talking to your dog, something we'll get to in a bit. Mistake number 6. All of us have a limit to our social battery. One moment you love spending as much time as you can with the largest group of people possible, schmoozing and networking, but other times you want to be left alone, to curl up with a good book. Dogs are exactly the same. Sometimes they want to ram their faces into anyone and everyone, sniffing all that there is to be sniffed. But sometimes they're just not in the mood. They may be social creatures, but that doesn't mean they should be forced into every social interaction going, insisting they greet a stranger when they're hesitant, or pushing them to play when they want space. It can make them feel trapped, and nobody wants to be trapped. A good rule of thumb is to let your dog decide when they're ready for interaction. If they approach a person or another dog willingly, great. If not, respect their decision and give them space. If they feel like they have control and agency over their environment and social life, well, it's absolutely trust o'clock. Mistake number 5. When going on walks, especially long ones, depending on where you are, a leash can be essential for safety. But keeping your dog on a leash that's too tight isn't just literally painful, but it also communicates tension and stress from you. So if the leash is always very taut, your dog may come to associate walks with restriction rather than freedom. Imagine that, a dog who doesn't love walks. It doesn't bear thinking about. What's best is to keep the leash loose and slack and reward your dog for remaining close. Not only does it make the walk more enjoyable for them, but it reinforces that you are someone to be trusted. Mistake number 4. We all need a safe space. Sometimes we can hide from the stresses and horrors of the world to be all alone with our thoughts. As I say a lot on this channel, dogs are a lot more like humans than you might think. Be it a cozy little bed, a crate, or just a quiet spot in the corner, your dog probably has a personal little safe space where they feel the most secure. Once you've identified that space, treat it as a total no-go zone whenever your dog is using it. Whether it's clambering into that space, trying to pull them out of it, or allowing kids to climb in with them, halt their behavior and wait for them to leave their little safe zones before you fawn over them. Respect your dog's safe space and let them retreat when they need to. This helps them feel secure in their environment and strengthens their trust in you. Mistake number 3. Conversely, while giving them attention when they don't really want it is an issue, so is not giving them enough attention. While they are capable of independence, they are highly social animals. You know that they know that we all do that. If you're frequently gone for long hours without interaction, your dog might start naturally feeling distant from you. Now, if you have a busy schedule, don't panic. It's perfectly possible to be a workplace superstar who still finds time to fuss over their precious pooch like there's no tomorrow. It's all about multitasking. Watching TV? Get your dog onto your lap and turn it into a cuddle session. Going for a jog? Take your pup with you and exercise together. Mistake number 2. Imagine you're a dog for a moment. If somebody says, sit, and you sit. If they say, I command thee, bend at the knees and lower oneself upon the floor, you'd think, wait, what? If they say, fetch, you'd chase after the stick they just threw. If they say, this stick, right here, soon it shall leave my hand, chase it, sir. You'd think, huh? Confusing commands are problems for dogs. Dogs learn best with simple, clear cues. And while I was kind of joking, who says to their dog, I command thee, bend at the knees and lower oneself upon thy floor? Something you might actually do that confuses your pooch more than you realize is using different words for the same action. For example, if you use the commands, come here, get over here, and come on interchangeably, it can get very confusing for their poor little dog noodles. This makes training tricky, and that can erode trust, not just in their friendship in you, but in your leadership. Stick to consistent, simple commands, and if multiple people in your household interact with your dog, try and get everyone to use the same cues to avoid confusion. Mistake number 1. Dogs truly are creatures who prefer the carrot to the stick. Well, no, we know that dogs love sticks in the sense of fetching them, but when it comes to the concept of the carrot or the stick, they definitely prefer the carrot. And I don't mean treats, I mean positive reinforcement. Wow, I lost control of this metaphor. Your bond with them, the trust they have for you, can be strengthened by positive reinforcement. If you only interact with them to tell them off for unwanted behavior, they'll just become hesitant around you because they don't want to upset you again. Make a habit of praising and rewarding your dog when they follow commands, when they exhibit good behavior, or when you have no reason to at all, because a compliment can just be for compliment's sake. If your dog has lost trust in you, they might not hug you anymore. But there are a few other reasons why as well, which this next video will explain.